Hey Insider, hope you're doing well. Today we got a very special guest joining us.
Hello.
You may have seen Toma in the vlogs before. Toma's my fiance and we've been in a relationship for how many years now, Toma?
Almost 5.
5 years, and I couldn't even remember myself. Oh God, I'm failing already. So today's video, we want to share in regards to a topic that's not really widely discussed. It's more of a private topic, but I know definitely from, for example, reaching out to a lot of successful people all across the globe, this is a real problem. Because there's a great saying goes, if the wifey isn't happy, nobody's happy, right? So we're going to talk to you today about why entrepreneurs tend to suck at relationships and how you can improve. And Toma's going to share her insights in regards to how she's managed to, for example, hold strong, hold tight, even though there has been days, for example, like I'm working like to make this vision a reality, and you know, she doesn't even see me the whole day, and you know, for some girls that's a big problem, and they need to have mental fortitude to still stay strong. So without further ado, Toma, let's begin to talk about why entrepreneurs tend to suck at being in a relationship. What would you say?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say one thing. Why entrepreneurs in particular, out of all of the different careers, businesses that you can be in, because to become an entrepreneur you need a particular skill set, and I believe that there is a particular type of personality for a true entrepreneur. And because I found that, well, even the people that we know, or like the entrepreneurs that we have in our circle, they're not the easy people to get along with. First of all, they normally have really strong personality, and
she's looking at me.
One of them. Tim is one of them, and
oh God.
I think it's because entrepreneurs, the real entrepreneurs, they have really strong vision, and they have really strong mission, and they want to make it happen, whatever it takes. And I think because a lot of the times they put their business, not necessarily business, I think at that point money is not as important as the mission or vision is. That's why they tend to suck with relationships, because sometimes they leave it aside. And for a lot of girls it's a big problem, exactly what you said.
Yeah, if I was to mention some of the traits that I've noticed about myself, as well as people, I've connected with leaders all across the globe now, because I have the fortune of speaking around the world, sharing stages with great renowned leaders you've probably heard of. One of the things I realized from connecting with these people, as well as connecting with myself, is definitely, like you mentioned, is the vision. And it comes down to values, really, because I realized from analyzing my values was the impact was such a big value for me. I was putting that over everything. And so it wasn't, for example, like I was putting relationship at the top, I was putting impact at the top. And as a result, the business I was creating, I was just putting that as a priority, meaning I was having sleepless nights where I was just work on the vision, not really think about anything else. And this was back in the past until I really began to analyze this. And so I would say entrepreneurs have that tendency to almost have like a laser pinpoint accuracy in regards to what they want, and they drown out everything else out of the world. And sometimes that's the very thing that causes sometimes divorces amongst some entrepreneurs. And it's actually quite common. If you look at some of the biggest entrepreneurs out there, they're constantly going through divorces. You can actually see this because they publicly share it sometimes, which is sad to realize. And I think it's as a result of that vision, you've got that passion for what you do and so forth.
Yeah, I think if I was to go to then step number 1 straight away without...
Well, in regards to how they can improve.
Yeah. I would say number 1 thing is communication. Because I'm gonna speak from the girl's point of view. Sometimes it's really hard to understand what's going on in your head, because there are so many things, and then you feel like, oh, maybe it's me, maybe it's my problem, maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe I need to be a little bit more needy. You know, we are kind of self-centered beings at the end of the day, and we start thinking about all these things, or why he's not giving me attention, so it doesn't mean that I'm not important, and all that kind of stuff. But when you, like, I found when we speak and when you tell me like, oh, you know, actually this is what I see, and this is the bigger vision, and you know, I need you to be there to support me, everything shifts. And I believe if you don't talk about it, if you just like follow your mission and vision and you leave that person aside, not together in, you know, pursuing that vision to happen, but like aside of the mission and vision, then that person, like for that person, it's really hard to be part of it and support you because they don't really understand what's happening. So really communicate explain what's happening, and just keep them in the vision and in the mission, and this way you will get the support that you need to just, you know, really achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, one of the things I've realized is about realizing your why and being open to expressing the why behind everything that you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things I realized with Tom, as well as previous relationships I've had, is where they failed is I wasn't explaining why, I was just kind of doing it. And then the reality is, human beings, we attach meanings to things, and we attach different meanings to things. So for example, you can attend the same party as somebody else, but take a totally different meaning out of the whole experience. And so unless you openly share why you're doing what you're doing, why you're working so hard, why you know, for example, not taking the person you love out for dinner often, unless you explain the why in regards to your vision, how you see things, the long term, the short term, you'll never know in regards to whether or not you can, for example, keep that person happy, because they're going to attach their own meaning, and that's where a lot of the clashes tend to happen, right? Okay, so what would you say the second thing is?
Well, second thing is, apart from communication, how they can improve it. I think, okay, so that's coming from like more like us, we were talking about you guys, entrepreneurs, and how pleasing you kind of in this way. But then another thing I think is to show a little bit attention to your partner as well, because you guys are working so much and you have, let's say, your partner supporting you at all times and so on. So it's kind of nice to appreciate that, because it seems like it's not hard work to be there and support whatever happens, but it is hard work at the same time, because you might be angry, your mood swings and everything. It's quite hard to control for the partner being next to you, so acknowledge them. I'm not saying every single day now spend hours, but whenever you can, let's say maybe you can have a date night once a month when you just like spend your time with your partner. Just find that time to appreciate them, because that's one of the, you know, human needs is that love and connection. And if that person doesn't get that majority of the time, then it's really hard to really understand why you are even together, you know. So really find that time to acknowledge the person that is next to you.
And I think what I've realized from the failures and successes during this relationship, as well as previous relationships, is a quantity versus quality, right?
Yes.
Because I think some people may be thinking, but I don't have the time to spend time with my loved ones. And the reality is, for example, you can spend 9 hours with somebody and not be present. For example, checking your emails or whatever on your phone constantly. Or you can spend 30 minutes with somebody and give them total presence, total you know, love, and just being willing to listen. Because after all, the nature of the feminine energy is they love to just have somebody listen to them, not so much trying to fix. And I've been through a lot of issues with that, trust me. As soon as, for example, Tom comes home with all of the worries, I'm like, okay, especially as a coach, right? Coaching training, or I should say mentorship training, because coaching is all about asking questions. But as a mentor, we're used to just giving solutions, right? I've noticed from some past failures, never do that, okay? No. 30-minute total presence, and that's what made a big difference to our relationship. Okay, going on to the final point.
Okay, the final point, I think this one's gonna be quite harsh, and I don't think you expected, but not everybody can be entrepreneur's partner. Is that like?
Yeah, I think that pretty much makes sense.
No,
so not everybody can be with an entrepreneur.
I mean, like, grammatically, is it correct?
Yeah, I'm sure they think it's fine, don't worry.
Okay, so not everybody can be your partner, because if you have somebody that needs your attention 24/7, if you have somebody that, let's say, they care more about their own vision and how they do things, they can't be your partner. I feel like it has to be a particular person. And maybe I'm gonna sound like big-headed, but I think not everybody can be in my place and be Tim's partner, because you need to be bloody tough.
Are you pushing away all the ladies now, yeah?
Kind of. No, but it's true, not everybody can be, because you need to have that person that it's gonna understand that there are going to be some sacrifices, that you're not going to spend every single night watching TV, going for a dinner and all that kind of stuff. There are going to be sacrifices in terms of, let's say, money, especially if you are just at the beginning of your journey. There are going to be sacrifices of time and so on, and you know, all the amazing, when everybody, all your friends are traveling there, you might not be traveling. there are sacrifices that you are going to make, but it all gonna kind of contribute towards the bigger mission and the bigger vision. And I think being selfless in a way that you put other person's mission and life's purpose first, because I believe that who we are just to tell that person, oh no, don't go reach that, let's go with me somewhere, let's, you know, cinema, whatever that would be. So you have to be selfless. And I think you need to, when you are choosing your partner, you need to really kind of think wisely about that. Because if in the well, another thing, I was very needy though. I was really needy in the beginning, right? I used to need him to be with me 24/7, but I think you educated me to what it is. And I'm just getting confused now, I think. But I think you're new to the whole, it's a different way of thinking. At the end of the day, entrepreneurs and high achievers, they think different from most people out there. And I think I've noticed from my relationship experience with my previous relationships is girls tend to not understand unless they are, for example, they've got a vision themselves or they've been an entrepreneur themselves. They don't know what it's really like to have an obsession over something. Because in today's society, obsession is something that's so frowned upon. People often say follow your passion, follow what you're born to do, whatever, right? But they never say go or get obsessed. And the reality is that entrepreneurs are freaking obsessed with what they're doing. And that's why you get people out in Silicon Valley working like day and night just programming their future app that will become the next Facebook or whatever. And most people will not understand that. And I think that's what, you know, you're trying to get across. And I think we've of course gone through a lot of lessons through this relationship in regards to the ups and downs. And what I suppose I've learned in regards to this is you gotta get, of course, you gotta be adaptable. But then there's also a time, I believe, you have to realize that maybe that person isn't right for you. And I think the reason why, for example, Tom and I, we've got along so well is because Tom was adaptable. She was willing to change. The problem is I've had previous relationships where it's so fixed mindset, this is who I am, I'm not willing to change, not so much a growth mindset. And also vice versa, I've also had to adapt to some of my behavior, and she'll tell me off when I'm doing some bad habits, not being present. You know, I'm a human being like yourself. I'm not always perfect. And so we've learned a lot during this process. And so, yeah, thanks for sharing, Toma. Anything else? It's a pleasure. I just want to say that, you know, have patience. If you are with somebody and it's just not working out for now, just try to be understandable. And first of all, have a conversation if, you know, you can actually work towards this. Because if your both future vision is very different, it's better to end earlier than later. But on a positive note, be patient as well, because for me it took some time to understand Tim, and if he didn't talk to me, probably I would be long gone now. So talk to them, be patient, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But yeah, can you end on a positive note? I think communication is definitely important. Like you're mentioning, talk it out. Don't keep it yourself. However you feel, be willing to express it. That's going both to men and women. I think on a positive note, you know, this is already positive. We're giving them a solution here. So realize that, you know, human beings aren't perfect, and just because maybe some of you are going through some relationship issues in your life right now, realize that it too shall pass, as long as you're willing to change and improve. If, however, you feel like this has come to an end, well, your intuition should be the guide in regards to that. So just always follow your heart and take action. Yes, definitely. Girls, if you are watching, I know it's not easy. I've been there. Just trust. Trust. You're not on your own. They all are the same, don't worry. Trust the journey. So Insider, just want to say thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, it's very much a different setup. If you enjoyed it like this, by the way, be sure to let us know in the comments box below, because through your feedback, I'm willing to adapt to the content that we provide. Thanks, Tom. Tom's more expressive than I, because I'm like the introvert, right? So also like the video if you like the video, and share this video with your friends, your high achiever friends, or your loved ones who need to hear this message, okay? Because it is through education, through knowledge, we're able to grow ourselves, and through growth, we're able to change. Okay, without further ado, my friend, as always, follow your heart and take action, and go live the life you want to live. I'll see you on the next video soon.